Tell me why I went to a fashion business school. Here's my degree. I went to a fashion business school and I cannot even get a job that makes more than $17 an hour. I work for big brands. Like, I have experience working for luxury brands. I have multiple internships under my belt. I'm very smart. I'm very capable. And literally none of these places are hiring. Every single job, especially where I'm applying to in Manhattan, because the fashion.
So I've been noticing a lot of videos like that on TikTok and other social medias, and I found it interesting that a lot of people are saying that college is a scam. I wouldn't say college necessarily is a scam, is that the amount of things you need to go through to get it, that is the scam. She's saying that she went to school for a degree in fashion or some type of art. That's not necessarily going to translate to perfect job opportunities, if that makes any sense. A lot of the degrees you'd see people like her going to college for, like social science or degrees that has nothing to do with the direct benefit of society. For example, doctors, lawyers, and stuff like that. I don't necessarily think you need to go to college, go $50,000 in debt to get an art degree. You can do that on your own. It would make more sense if she had went for engineering or something that society would deem functional and allow society to move forward. But the thing is, degrees like that are extremely difficult to get. And I have seen a lot of videos, or like one particular video actually, of a person showing the difference of a person, like a first year student in an engineering program, and like, let's say 4 years after, they look like they're dead inside. And the a large majority of the people who are looking into degrees like arts don't necessarily want to go into engineering or a doctor, which is completely fine, but you can't expect to get a high paying job if you don't have something like that. And to be honest, the degree is something that I would say a lot of us have been deceived into thinking that the degree is what gets you the job. And that's kind of backwards, in my opinion, because when you look at any job postings, they always ask for experience over, like, let's say, an engineering degree. An engineering degree would be nice, and it is absolutely needed. For example, if you're going into, like, let's say, mechanical design, you need some form of engineering knowledge. We're just using engineering, the degree, as an example here. But you need some form of like basic knowledge or fundamental knowledge to go into this field, right? What is important to the employer, the one that are like hiring you, is if you know how to do a particular type of job that is associated with an engineering degree. They will ask that more often over the details of your engineering degree or any type of degree that you've obtained from any type of university. That's just something that I've noticed. And it's extremely unfortunate. And I think people who go to get these degrees were probably told by their parents or somebody that is in their family that they should go to university, get any type of degree, and they would get a job. Not true. Definitely not true. And personally speaking, I think a lot of students coming out of high school needs to take at least a year, figure out who they are, what they like, because this is a very steep financial decision that could put you in debt for the rest of your life, paying off interest, not even the amount that you owe, the amount that you are contractually obligated to pay back, but you're paying them interest and not even getting to the actual loan amount that you took out. So college is not a scam. The steps required for you to get into college, that is the scam. and the leeches, the vampires that give out these loans, they know that a lot of people who take out these loans, they don't necessarily know every single detail. And for a similar reason as to why when you sign up for like a new application, you don't read the terms of service, they know. Everybody who's like, let's say, like, use the new application, you would see the terms of service, but nobody really reads it. Nobody really wants to try to understand necessarily every single detail, but they put it there, but a lot of people don't necessarily want to do it. So college isn't a scam.
I was being nosy and listening to a couple of girls that work at my gym's conversation, and they were talking about how they've had all these job interviews, applied to all these jobs, can't get a job. Now they have to work at a gym. Literally everyone is in this predicament. It's so frustrating. Like, everyone I talk to, they're having these interviews, sounds like it goes great, and they didn't get the job. Who are the companies hiring then? I have not heard one person say, wow, the interview went great, I got hired. Who are they hiring? Additionally, what are we doing?
Another thing is that Indeed and LinkedIn, these these direct ways of applying to these jobs, they don't necessarily get looked at very much. It's just another way for the company to show that they're actually looking for applicants, and often than not, a way for them to hire cheap labor. So they show that they've had a history of a position that needs to be filled, so that they can get a person that they could pay less to fill that position, or like get some form of benefit from the company. A lot of the times, what you would need to do to get a job, depending on what field you go into, I recommend you go into something that is associated with the way the world is progressing, like sustainability, HVAC, mechanical engineering. These are all fields that are heavily linked to the function of society. So if you get into those fields, I think you would have a better time. Now, back to what I was saying about the jobs, right? So a person who knows another person in a particular industry or company is more likely to get that job because they have relationships with that person. Like, let's say me, for example, I know a person in a company that I'm trying to get into. I just graduated and I know that guy. I'm more likely to get the interview versus a person who is hiring through social media or LinkedIn or any other type of company. That's just usually how it works. I know that person, so therefore I'm willing to hire them, more likely to hire them, right? Also, networking, going to events, seminars and stuff like that, where a lot of the companies go out and they hire people just like that. But it depends on your degree and your qualification. That's it. But it's unfortunate that a lot of people are in this predicament, and I hope going for degrees that would be able to pay off the debt that we owe. That's it.